Fáilte Roamh, welcome Year 10 to your first online lesson. This lesson has been based around the topic holidays, and as I have already explained to you in class, we are going to be basing this lesson around question 5C in your booklet. If you don't have your booklet with you, please pause the video now and get your booklet. If you need to take notes at any stage during this video, feel free to pause the video and take your notes. Remember, notes should be taken on your booklet rather than in your exercise book, please. So let's get started. And don't forget, you will be having a listening test the next day in class based on this information. So it's very important that you do learn this. So first of all, we're going to have a look at the actual question. Where did you go on your holidays? So in Irish, if we want to ask that question, we say, Ca nyathi tú do lehenda sira? Ca nyathi tú do lehenda sira? To answer that question, we start with hui me, followed by either go or guji an. With the exception of the first one in the left-hand column, Hun na Europa, which means to Europe, the rest of the place names here in this left column all are preceded by the word go. In other words, we say hui me go in front of each of these place names. In front of the word for England, Scotland, America, Canada, Cork, Galway, Donegal, and there are of course two ways, as we know from last year, to say Donegal, Sligo, Dublin and Kerry. So for example, if I want to say I went to England, I would say hui me go Sasna. I went to Scotland, hui me go Haliban. I went to America, hui me go America. I went to Canada, hui me go Canada. I went to Cork, hui me go Corky. I went to Galway, hui me go Galway. I went to Donegal, hui me go Tyrconnell. The other way of saying I went to Donegal, hui me go Dunanal. I went to Sligo, hui me go Schlegach. I went to Dublin, hui me go Ballia a Clia. Or I went to Kerry, hui me go Kerry. Looking next then at the place names on the right-hand side, you will notice that they all have go G in front of them. So for example, to say I went to Asia, you would say hui me go G and Ash. I went to Britain, hui me go G and Vratain war. Or you can just say hui me go G and Vratain. I went to Wales, hui me go G and Vratain vug. And I will just point out at this stage about this one in particular that Wales and Vratain vug is known as Little Britain. And if you look at that in Irish, it literally translates as Little Britain. So you have Vratain vug and Vratain vug, Little Britain to Wales. Again, I use go G in front of an rank for France, and Spoin for Spain, and Greg for Greece, and Idail for Italy, and Garmain for Germany, and Velig for Belgium. I also use it in front of an Astral for Australia, an Afrique for Africa, and Chin for China, and Japan for Japan, and an Gaeltacht, the Gaeltacht. So as you can see, and on all occasions, I will start with hui me, and then either go or guji am. Now, feel free to play this as many times as you need until you are comfortable and happy that you will recognise all of the vocab. Your listening test is based on the place names, so I'm just very quickly going to go back through and pronounce those for you now. So, Hon na Horapa is to Europe, but you may hear in your listening test the word Orapak, which is just Europe on its own. Hon na Horapa, hui me Hon na Horapa, but Orapak, which is Europe. Other place names we've covered today are Sasna. Instead of Gohalaban, if I was just saying the place name, it would be Alaban, without the H. America, Canada, Corky, Gallev, Tyrconnell, Dunanal, Schligach, Ballyaclia, Kiri, an Ash, an Vratain War, an Vratain Vug, an Rank, an Spoing, an Greg, an Idail, an Garmine, an Velig, an Astrail, an Afrik, an Chin, an Chapan, and Gaeltacht. Now please do listen to this and watch this video as many times as you need until you are happy that you will be able to translate all of those place names from Irish into English when you hear them. Amor Arav. Good luck.